What's going on, Lego Maniacs? It's Ty, the Lego guy here, and welcome to another episode of Ty's Talks, a Q&A series. We're in episode 31. This one had some interesting ones, including what are my favorite sets of 2022? What's the best way to store your Lego manuals? And am I possibly planning any future MOCs? Along with a bunch of other really good questions. And again, if you have any questions for next Ty's Talks, just leave them in the comments and we'll get to them in episode 32. But enough talk, let's get right into it. And our first question comes to us from Alpha Bricks channel, and he asks, for the next episode, a similar question. Do you keep all the building instructions and how do you store them? Do you have a system for archiving them? And yeah, that's an interesting question. Okay, back in the day when things were a little bit more organized and I had less Lego sets to kind of deal with, I'd organize them from episode 1 to 3, that would be my prequel binder, and from episode 4 to 6, that would be my original trilogy binder. I'm talking about Star Wars in case you guys are wondering. And then I kind of had a historical / miscellaneous binder as well where I'd stick like, you know, and then I also had a space binder as well. So I kind of just had them all very organized. I think that's the best way to go about it. However, right now I'm dealing with just what a lot of you guys do. You stick your manuals in containers and you store them. No, I don't throw out any of my manuals. I can't imagine doing that. In case you want them, I'm kind of old school with wanting to have the paper manuals. But yeah, that's the best way to kind of store them. Binders with those plastic sheets. It just takes a lot of work. Karma Brick Creation says, question, what are your favorite town sets from each decade? So I decided to go with just 3 decades instead of all the decades. I'm going to choose the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. For the 80s, I've chosen the 6395. Really like that set. I like the fact they have all these miniature race cars. I think they did a little bit better job with it in the 90s, but again, this is my favorite town set from the 80s. For the 90s, I chose the 6598. That police station is awesome. I don't think you could get a better police station. Love the fact you have a little separate build to kind of put the jail and it's kind of on water. You also have a boat. Kind of has the best of both worlds, I guess. You get a police station on land, but it's right on the shore and there's kind of like some water build as well. When I was a little dude, I really wanted that set. And for the 2000s, we're gonna go really basic, but I think it's really, really cool. We're going with the 7893. It's a passenger plane, but I mean, it's probably the best plane Lego's ever made as far as city planes go. I'd love to buy that, but I think it is quite expensive on the aftermarket. Anyways, good question, and yeah, hopefully I'll get those 3 sets one of these days, but we'll see. They are retired, so they're worth quite a bit. Super Andrew asks, do you think Lego will go back to other animation studio themes or is it restricted by Disney? Adventure Time, SpongeBob, Scooby-Doo? Okay, so good one. I don't think that Lego is restricted by Disney. I think they kind of do whatever they want, but it does cost quite a bit of money to kind of get those licenses. The other thing too is I think they're a little bit gun shy because they had Elves, although I do think Elves was Disney. They had their own type of weird thing, which was video. Both those were major failures. And bear in mind, I also think that they're not restricted by Disney because they also do Nintendo, which is kind of an animation series. So yeah, I think Lego will definitely do more. I think that they're just a little bit scared with some of the offshoot stuff they've come up with, or like video or Elves, it being a massive failure. I think that they're just a little bit gun shy and they want to make sure that the next one they do is going to be a success. Chris says, before becoming Ty the Lego guy, did you consider any other names for your channel? And did you ever consider creating a channel about a different topic before you started your Lego channel? So yeah, this was a really good one, and I definitely did. The 2 other contenders was Ty the gaming guy or a Star Wars channel, kind of like Star Wars Theory. What kept me out of the gaming channel was my favorite game is Age of Empires 2, and I just wasn't quite good enough, I think, for people to actually want to watch me stream. Since then, I'm kind of in the top 10% of playing that game, which is pretty good, but it's definitely not pro. I might end up doing it, it's just time allocation. And with the Star Wars channel, yeah, I think that would have been really cool, but Lego beat it out a little bit just because Lego also has Star Wars, but it also has a number of other themes that I'd really, enjoy looking into, like adventures, like Wild West, 90s space, amongst a bunch of other themes, pirates. So yeah, I did think of, going into a Star Wars channel, but I enjoyed Lego. I shouldn't say enjoyed Lego more, but I like the fact that I had other avenues I could get into along with MOCs and whatnot. But yeah, great question. It was a tricky one, but yeah, I'm happy I went with Lego. Maybe Ty the Gaming Guy will come out soon, but yeah, it's just a matter of time. Kylo Sam comes up with a really good one, which is Ask Ty, what is your favorite set for 2022? This was a hard one. For Lego Star Wars, I'm going to go with the Inquisitor Transport. I may get some hate for that because I'm not choosing the ATTE, but I just really like the overall look of that ship. We'll see. Maybe the UCS set will take its place. And then as far as just other sets, I really like the brand new castle that they brought out, the one that's 400 USD. Won't talk too much about that one because I did talk about it quite a bit in the last episode. And I also really like the T-Rex Breakout. Great looking set. Hope to have a review of that set soon for you guys. Just a beautiful looking model. There are a lot of other really good ones, but yeah, those are probably going to be the 3 that I choose. LASIK82 asks, Hi Ty, I have a few questions. Why don't you record streams anymore? Don't have time because of work, or do you have a new girlfriend you spend more time with than Lego? I hope you could stream at least once a month. Are you planning any MOC? Pirates Battle for Tortuga Bay MOC was one of my favorite series. Which ship from Lego Classic Space would you like to appear in a Star Wars movie or series? Thank you for the answers. You're one of the nicest Lego YouTubers. Well, first off, just, thanks LASIK. I really do appreciate it. Those are some very nice and kind words. As far as why I don't stream anymore, yeah, it's just a matter of time. There's no new girlfriend or anything like that. That's kind of why I stopped doing it, but I really liked your idea about doing it once a month. I think that's very smart. As far as if I'm planning any MOC, I was planning Camino. I even bought a bunch of Phase 1 clones, which was kind of a mistake. I should have just waited for the mini battle pack. But yeah, I was planning Camino. I think a Wild West MOC would be pretty good. One of you guys, I think Karma, he mentioned that, which I may end up doing. Actually, let me know in the comments if you guys would like me to do a MOC, and if so, what type of MOC you'd like me to do. It's definitely on the table. It's just, again, a matter of time. With work and everything, it's been kind of insane. And then your last question, which is which classic spaceship? Probably just the Galaxy Explorer, especially the new one. I think that could fit in. Yeah, it could fit with Star Wars. I'd love a lot of the other 90s large-scale space sets, like the Explorine's basically flagship. But yeah, that one or the Explorer, I think would be both great choices to kind of sneak into the Star Wars universe. Broxy says, question, 3 favorite themes, question 2, favorite set in those themes. Okay, so you made this really tricky. I can't really give you my top 3 themes, but let's just say I won't choose Star Wars because that's nearly impossible to choose the best set out of all the Star Wars sets that they've ever made. But let's go with Pirates, Wild West, and Adventurers. For Pirates, I'm going to choose the Imperial Flagship because technically the one that's the contender, the Barracuda Bay set, that's technically an Ideas set. So yeah, we're going to go with the Imperial Flagship for Pirates. We're going to go with the Fort Lego Rado for Wild West. And for Adventurers, I'm going to go with the Temple of Anubis. Yeah, great question. It's really tricky to choose your top 3, but let's just go with those 3 themes, and those would be the sets that I choose. Vigard comes out with a very spicy question, which really fits in with a Lego channel. He asks, would you ever want to work for Lego? Okay, so this is an interesting one. If I could work as one of Lego's designers and they came up with sets, I'd probably say yes. I know that they make quite good money for that type of job. You'd also get a discount on Lego, which would be huge. As far as if I'd like to work at like a Lego store, if they paid more, I've heard that they don't pay all too well, which would kind of deter me from working for them. I do think it would not be a bad job though, but I think really creating vehicles and ships and like maybe terrain sets like adventures, I'd love to do something like that and get paid for it. Basically, you get paid to make Lego sets, which I think would be an amazing job. I have heard though that they do require quite an education to get into that. I do have a bachelor's and I've obviously graduated high school, but yeah, maybe one of these days I'd have to definitely improve on my building skills, but I think it'd be a pretty cool job. But that pretty well does this episode of Ty's Talks. Again, if you have questions for next Ty's Talks, just leave in the comments and we'll get to them in episode 32. But that pretty well does the video. But if you liked it, leave it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and click that bell so you're notified for any future Q&As. You guys come up with a lot of good ones. I really like the questions in this episode. Very appropriate for a Lego channel, I found. But that's all I got for you again. But thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.